Someone who heard about what happened to Ruby posted a chat she had with her a few weeks earlier as she warned Ruby about the dream she had about her.
Police are investigating a shooting that left one dead and sent several others to the hospital. We've been following this story all afternoon, and tonight we have learned that an additional victim who showed up at Advent Health has been linked to that shooting.
That brings the number of people shot now to 4, and this all started at an apartment complex on Mercy Drive earlier today. West 2's Liv Johnson explains how that shooting led to a police chase.
Heated argument between several women quickly spiraled out of control as seen in a video. What started as shouting escalated into a physical brawl, drawing a crowd of onlookers. 3 individuals were detained, including 23-year-old Delray Shundale Duncan Jr. One of them was found with a gunshot wound, rushed to the hospital in critical condition.
Alright y'all, now I actually didn't even watch this one yet, but if you're familiar with the cosmetics and hair industry on social media, then you've seen Ruby Kior, or at least heard of her. Now I recently found out that she was unalive during a fight, which is crazy because we see this time after time where someone gets into a fight and next thing you know, someone's pulling out a weapon to try and take somebody's life. How do you go from a fist fight to wanting to take somebody's life? And it's sad because these days people justify it. You often hear people say things like, I ain't fighting nobody, I'll shoot you, or just people that feel that because someone hit you, you have to take their life. Now I know what some of y'all watching and y'all probably saying the same thing, and I get it, but if someone is like ODing and trying to beat you until you're unconscious, or trying to bully someone who's not trying to fight back, then I get it in that case. But to lose a fight or to get into one and automatically think just because somebody wants to fight you, you gotta shoot them, that's crazy to me. It reminds me of the kid in Chicago who got into a fight with his friend, beat him up actually, and as soon as his friend got up, he started shooting him. Crazy, man, all because he lost a fight. But anyway, we're gonna get into this one here. Y'all make sure y'all hit that thumbs up button so we can get this video into the algorithm. And if you're not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it.
I did know somebody who looked like this.
But it's, you know, I mean, who wants to look, you know, simple when you can look stunning?
Hey y'all, it's Ruby and this is my grandma and I'm entering the 50K scholarship grant and I'm just to show y'all that I'm gonna tell y'all she inspired me the most. So introduce yourself.
I'm Grandma and this is my lemon head.
We are also getting new information about the young woman who was killed after a fight led to gunfire at an Orlando apartment complex.
Police are investigating a shooting that left one dead and sent several others to the hospital. We've been following this story all afternoon, and tonight we have learned that an additional victim who showed up at Advent Health has been linked to that shooting.
That brings the number of people shot now to 4, and this all started at an apartment complex on Mercy Drive earlier today. West 2's Liv Johnson explains how that shooting led to a police chase.
Why would a fight at an apartment courtyard leave a young mother of 2 handsome boys lifeless in a hospital? What could have sparked such chaos, enough to involve multiple gunshots and send a car speeding through Orlando streets in a desperate attempt to escape? And how did it all unravel into a violent pursuit that ended in bloodshed? In this video, we're diving deep into the heartbreaking case of Michaela Patterson, whose life ended in a tragic shooting under mysterious circumstances. Michaela Queen Patterson was only 22 years old, a mother, a dreamer, and someone with her entire life ahead of her. But on the afternoon of September 22, 2023, her life came to a sudden and violent end. A neighborhood confrontation turned deadly, sending Mercy Drive in Orlando, Florida into a state of pandemonium. As police scrambled to piece together what happened, 3 other individuals were rushed to hospitals with gunshot wounds, and a suspect with a troubled past was taken into custody. But the questions remain. What caused this senseless violence? Who else was involved? And are we getting the full story? As we unravel the events leading to Michaela's untimely death, we'll uncover startling revelations, additional suspects that were arrested, and unanswered questions that challenge the official narrative. Orlando, located in Central Florida, serves as a backdrop for this true crime story. Orlando is known for its vibrant tourism scene, including theme parks like Walt Disney World and Universal Studios. However, like many major cities, Orlando faces challenges with gun violence. In recent years, gun-related incidents have been on the rise, with Orlando experiencing a steady increase in shootings. In 2022, the city reported a significant number of gun-related crimes, with the overall rate of gun violence affecting neighborhoods across the region. Michaela Queen Patterson, also known to her friends as Ruby Kior, wasn't just a name trending in the headlines. She was a 22-year-old woman with dreams, ambition, and a life that revolved around her two young sons. A licensed hairstylist and cosmetologist, she had a talent for creating beauty and making people feel confident about their looks. She aspired to become a celebrity hairstylist, turning her passion into a career that would secure a better future for her family. Her passion for hairdressing was evident through her growing social media presence, where she showcased her skills and connected with clients. She owns her own hair company she called Sh0t LLC, where she sold a wide collection of hairs and beauty products. She has a growing number of followers on her Instagram page as well. Her life wasn't without challenges, but Michaela met them with determination. To her friends, she was a source of inspiration. To her family, she was irreplaceable. Her sons were her world, a reason to keep pushing forward no matter what. And now, they will grow up with only memories of a mother who loved them deeply. She even has an Instagram page dedicated only to her two sons, posting lovely pictures of them. In a journal she had in her saloon, she had already written her goals for the month of September, not knowing what would befall her later. In her journal, she has written that she wanted to take her spiritual life more seriously. Someone who heard about what happened to Ruby posted a chat she had with her a few weeks earlier as she warned Ruby about the dream she had about her. It reads, "Hey girl, hey, so last night you were in my dreams. So weird cause I didn't you at all. I saw you getting into an argument with girls while they were trying to fight you and you was just laughing saying, y'all lucky I changed. I changed. You kept saying that. I'm just writing to you to encourage you if you are changing, keep changing. The devil will try to put people in your path to bring you backwards, but don't go back." It's a setup, literally.
That's crazy. Now, a lot of us, we do have intuitions, and those dreams, I always tell people, I don't know if y'all are spiritual or not, but when you have certain dreams and that intuition or that gut feeling, pay attention to it, please. Right? A lot of us don't understand that those are signs. Those are for a reason. Don't just think that you having a bad feeling about something and let it go. No. Pay attention to whatever you're thinking or doing at that time, and when you get the bad feeling about it, that's your answer on whether you should do it or not. But this is crazy. So there's a girl that pretty much told her before she was unalive that she see her getting into an argument and then something happened. Crazy.
Sadly, on September 22nd, 2023, that dream tragically came to pass. Michaela was shot and killed during a chaotic altercation at the Jernigan Gardens apartments in Orlando. The incident, which began as a fight among several women, escalated when multiple men became involved, leading to gunfire that claimed Michaela's life and injured 3 others. This wasn't just a loss for her family, it's a loss for the life she could have lived, for the dreams she worked so hard to achieve. But what happened that day? What turned a peaceful courtyard into the site of a deadly confrontation? As we continue, the story takes an unexpected and violent turn. The Jernigan Gardens apartments, located on Mercy Drive in Orlando, is no stranger to chaos. Formerly known as the Palms and Windsor Cove, have a troubling history of violence. In recent years, the complex has been the site of multiple shootings, including a tragic incident where a 10-year-old shot and killed a neighbor after an argument escalated.
Yo, listen, I don't mean to laugh. How the hell a 10-year-old get into an argument with somebody and shoot and unalive a 10-year-old? You know what type of area that gotta be for a 10-year-old to say, listen, I'm gonna shoot you and take your life after an argument? Oh, now what's going on out here, man?
But on the 22nd September 2023, a Friday afternoon, the usually bustling courtyard became the epicenter of a confrontation that no one could have imagined would turn deadly. A heated argument between several women quickly spiraled out of control as seen in a video.
Always.
What started as shouting escalated into a physical brawl, drawing a crowd of onlookers. The tension thickened as more people joined the altercation. Among them, 22-year-old Michaela Patterson, likely caught in the chaos, unaware that these moments would be her last.
To be honest with you, even though she was just 22 years old, she looked like she had a head on her shoulders, right? She looks very well put together, classy. So I actually wonder how did she even get in that mix, right? How did she end up in an area where you got 10-year-old people taking lives? How did she get over there and get into an argument? She looked like she probably was out of place over there. And to be honest with you, don't be surprised if they was arguing due to women, probably older, hating on her. Let's see.
At 2:34 p.m., calls flooded into Orlando police. A massive brawl had erupted in the courtyard. Witnesses reported seeing men enter the fray, one of them armed. In an instant, the sound of gunfire shattered the evening stillness. People screamed and scattered as bullets tore through the crowd. When it was over, 4 people lay injured, and Michaela was fatally struck. She never had a chance to escape.
Damn.
Among the 4 persons that was hit, it was only Michaela who lies motionless, her life hanging by a thread. Who pulled the trigger? I'm a video we obtained. We can some group of friends standing over her body as she struggled to live. Eyewitnesses described the scene as pure chaos, panic, and confusion everywhere. Some hid, while others rushed to help the victims. The first victim, lying amidst the confusion, was rushed to the hospital in a desperate attempt to save their life. But this was just the beginning. As the investigation unfolded, the answers would only lead to more questions. Questions that pointed to something far more complex and tragic than anyone could have anticipated.
Police are investigating a shooting that left 1 dead and sent several others to the hospital. We've been following this story all afternoon, and tonight we have learned that an additional victim who showed up at Advent Health has been linked to that shooting.
That brings the number of people shot now to 4, and this all started at an apartment complex on Mercy Drive earlier today. West 2's Liv Johnson explains how that shooting led to a police chase.
The shooting started on Mercy Drive, but all of the victims were found in different locations, one of them in a car. Police still trying to piece together how all of them are connected. The calls came in around 2:30 in the afternoon on Friday. Reports of a shooting leading Orlando police to this apartment complex on Mercy Drive. Police say when they got there, they found 1 person with a gunshot wound. They were transported to the hospital in critical condition. Then, while police were at the complex, they say they were notified of a possible suspect vehicle that fled the scene. This led them on a chase that ended here, Old Winter Garden Road and Duncan Place. This black Chevy was seen with significant damage to the front and what appears to be blood outside of it. Then, separate from both those scenes, a 3rd person was dropped off at the hospital with a gunshot wound. And then another person with a gunshot wound later located at Advent South. Police are asking anyone with information on this shooting to call the department.
The city of Orlando was gripped with fear. Moments after the chaos erupted at Jernigan Gardens Apartments, police received a critical lead, a description of a vehicle seen speeding away from the scene. It was a black Chevy sedan, now tied to the violence that had just unfolded. Officers immediately sprang into action, tracking the car through the streets of Orlando. What followed was a tense and high-stakes pursuit, weaving through busy intersections and crowded roads. Drivers watched in shock as police vehicles raced after the sedan, sirens blaring. The chase came to a dramatic end at Old Winter Garden Road and Duncan Place. The sedan, its front end mangled from a crash, was surrounded by police tape. Bloodstains marked the ground nearby, a haunting reminder of the violence tied to this vehicle. Inside the car, 3 individuals were detained, including 23-year-old Delray Shundale Duncan Jr.
Look at him.
One of them was found with a gunshot wound, rushed to the hospital in critical condition. This was the 2nd victim. The 3rd victim was dropped off at ORMC, and the 4th victim was later found at Advent South, who happened to be Michaela.
Yeah, that car is stopped right here behind me on Old Winter Garden Road. You can see where OPD has that area blocked off. From this angle, you can see that 4-door black sedan. The door is still open. Also appears to have some front damage. to it. And what we're told is Orlando police are investigating a shooting that actually happened on nearby Mercy Drive. Sky 6 was also over above, live from that complex. Orlando police say that scene along the 1400 block of Mercy Drive, they got reports at 2:30 this afternoon about a shooting. OPD says then a victim shortly later showed up with a gunshot wound to ORMC. Orlando police say witnesses at that scene, they described this four-door Chevy sedan as the vehicle that the shooter took off in. Officers say they then spotted that vehicle. They attempted to stop it, which resulted in a short pursuit. Investigators say they detained a total of 3 people inside of this car. And it also does appear that once the vehicle stopped and they detained the 3 people, officers discovered one of the 3 people in this vehicle had also been shot in a different location prior to arriving here, with Orlando police saying now they're looking at a total of 3 gunshot victims, also saying that they do believe that they have detained who is responsible.
She was transported to the Orlando Regional Medical Center, where she was later pronounced deceased. Duncan and the other person were taken into custody. For authorities, this was just the beginning of unraveling a complex case. Duncan faced the most serious charges: first-degree felony murder and multiple counts of attempt.
Look at him. He looked like whatever they say he did. Simple and plain. And another thing that I always have a problem with is these type of dudes that get in the middle of women drama, right? As a man, you shouldn't be getting into no problems with women, even if they sitting there arguing back and forth. You let them be, or you just break it up, right? You don't go shooting. Crazy.
Did homicide. Police believe Duncan was the one who fired the shots that ended Michaela Patterson's life and injured 4 others. The arrests were bolstered by critical pieces of evidence: witness testimonies, surveillance footage from the apartment complex, and forensic analysis played key roles in linking Duncan to the crime. Yet, the investigation was far from straightforward. Conflicting accounts from witnesses made it difficult to piece together a clear narrative. Some were too afraid to speak up, while others offered contradictory stories. Law enforcement had to sift through a maze of statements trying to separate fact from fiction. And then there was the issue of motive. Why did the fight escalate to such deadly violence? Was it a personal dispute or something larger simmering beneath the surface? With these arrests, the case seemed to gain traction. The pieces were beginning to come together, but the story was far from over. The arrest of 23-year-old Delray Shundale Duncan Jr. marked a pivotal moment in this tragic case. But who is Delray Duncan Jr., and what led him to this point? Delray's history with the law painted a disturbing picture. In 2018, he was found guilty of battery on a juvenile detention staff member, a crime that resulted in nearly 200 days behind bars. Just 2 years later, in 2020, his actions escalated. He faced charges for robbery with a firearm, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, and possessing a firearm as a convicted felon. Despite these convictions, his connection to violence only deepened. Now, Duncan faces the gravest accusations of his life: attempted homicide and first-degree felony murder in connection to the events that unfolded on Mercy Drive.
Now, you know what they say? They say if you got and you know it's bad, the fact that they judge us on our past, but when you see things like this happen, it's like, how can you be mad, right? The man already has a history of violence. He already displayed that he has no problem taking a life of somebody, or at least trying to. And then this happened, right? And you doing violence on police.
As investigators pieced together the timeline of that day, his role became undeniable. But was Duncan the mastermind, or just another player in a volatile situation spiraling out of control?
Developing tonight, police now have the man in custody who they say shot 4 people, killing 1 and putting 3 in the hospital. Now we're learning more about his lengthy criminal history. News 6's Troy Campbell has been following this story and has the latest tonight.
The 23-year-old male suspect is being held here at the Orange County Jail on several charges, including first-degree murder. News 6 has uncovered that former state attorney Monique Worrell chose to not pursue charges against the same suspect in a violent incident involving a firearm. 23-year-old Delray Duncan Jr. held at the Orange County Jail on charges of first-degree murder and attempted murder. Orlando police say on Friday afternoon, there were reports of a shooting at the Jernigan Gardens apartment complex on 1400 block of Mercy Drive. Law enforcement says they located the vehicle seen speeding away from the location, which resulted in a pursuit that came to a crashing end along Old Winter Garden Road near John Young Parkway. Delray Duncan Jr. was in that car. Orlando police say the shooting killed 22-year-old Michaela Patterson and injured 3 others. Her family telling News 6 they are shocked by the loss and will share more details in the days to come. Court documents show Duncan was arrested in March 2020 for felony armed robbery and aggravated assault. Court records show the victim in that case said he was pistol whipped and that Duncan demanded he hand over anything of value. However, 2 months later, State Attorney Monique Worrell's office issued this notice. The state would not be pursuing charges in that case. In August, Governor Ron DeSantis removed Worrell from office, citing criticism for her choice in not pursuing charges in several cases. Online jail records show that Duncan is being held without bond, and he still has not gone before a judge for a first appearance.
As the investigation continued, there was a stunning development. On October 3rd, 2023, a few days after the shooting, 18-year-old Gary Lee Williams III was arrested, facing the grave charge of first-degree murder with a firearm.
Look at the... What? Hey, I don't know what hairstyle, bro. Once again, whatever they say he did, he did. Bro, look crazy.
The details of Williams' arrest came as investigators expanded their search for answers. While the focus had initially centered on Delray Duncan Jr., Williams' involvement added a new layer of complexity. What role did this young man play in the violent chain of events that began in the courtyard of Jernigan Gardens apartments? The evidence against Williams pointed directly to the tragic death of 22-year-old Michaela Patterson. Authorities are now examining potential ties between Gary Lee Williams III and Delray Duncan Jr. Did these two suspects know each other before the fatal shooting? Could this be the moment the puzzles started coming together? Was Williams acting alone, or was he just another piece of a larger, more complicated web? At this point, the mystery was only growing, and the twists seemed endless. What's your take on this shocking development? Could Williams and Duncan have worked together? Or is there more to this story waiting to be uncovered? Share your thoughts in the comments as we prepare to explore the evolving investigation.
A second suspect in connection to a shooting that happened on Mercy Drive.
And that shooting left a young mother dead and sent 3 others to the hospital. West 2's Bob Hazen joins us live this morning. Bob, the man in custody is charged with first-degree murder.
Yeah, and investigators believe at least 3 people were shooting that afternoon, including the 2 young men who are here now at the Orange County Jail. Now, the latest arrest was 18-year-old Gary Williams III, and he joins Delray Duncan Jr. behind bars for that murder almost 2 weeks ago. Orlando police gave us video of them taking Williams to jail yesterday. They say he was one of the people involved in that shooting at Jernigan Gardens Apartments on Mercy Drive that killed 22-year-old Michaela Patterson. Records show that the victim had called for help because a large group of people were jumping her at the apartments. Her brother and cousin came to help her, and police say Duncan opened fire on them. They say that started a chain reaction of other people shooting, with one of them hitting Patterson in the head. 3 others were also hit by the gunfire, including Duncan, who of course survived and is now in jail. Investigators have not confirmed whether they believe that Williams, the 18-year-old who was just arrested, is the one who they believe fired the fatal shot, but both he and Duncan are facing a charge for first-degree murder and for attempted murder. Williams is being held here at the jail on no bond, and we expect him to go in front of a judge later on today.
That's crazy. So basically what happened was, whoever she was fighting, they must have called their brothers or friends, whoever they are to them, right? They called them and said, we were getting jumped. So the guys came, and we see this all the time, man. a lot of males, especially in the hood, where guys crash out over females. And the thing is, they don't even know what's going on. They don't come to ask questions or try to make sense of what's going on. They just come because a sister or a female friend said this happened, that happened, and then next thing you know, they do something to the next person. They don't even ask questions. And 9 times out of 10, whoever called them was in the wrong. How many times we heard of situations where girls get into it with guys because they started it, because they had a mouth, they was mouthing off, trying to be a man or act like one, and then she done called her boyfriend, brother, or whoever. And the next you know, he came and shot the other guy or unalived him, whatever the case may be, and now he's in jail doing a whole bunch of time because he didn't want to make common sense of the situation. He just acted crazy.
With 2 suspects in custody, the investigation into the tragic death of 22-year-old Michaela Patterson was far from over. Authorities announced they were seeking the public's help in identifying 2 additional individuals believed to be connected to the violent events that unfolded on Mercy Drive. The Orlando Police Department released photos of the unidentified suspects, urging anyone with information to come forward. A $5,000 reward was offered, a clear sign of the urgency to bring these individuals to justice. As the images circulated online and in local media, the public's role in solving this case became pivotal. But the twist didn't end there. In March 2024, 6 months after the shooting, a 3rd suspect was taken into custody. 18-year-old Christian Amari Childs, facing multiple charges including attempted first-degree murder with a firearm. His arrest marked a significant breakthrough, further unraveling the web of violence that left 1 woman dead and 3 others injured. Christina's alleged involvement further deepened the mystery surrounding the shooting and raised questions about the extent of the conspiracy. As the investigation continues, authorities remain determined to bring all those responsible for Michaela's tragic death to justice. Do you think the $5,000 reward will encourage someone to come forward with the vital information needed to crack this case? Let us know your thoughts in the comments as we continue to follow the latest developments. Michaela Patterson's death left a ripple of heartbreak that spread far beyond her immediate family. For those closest to her, the loss was deeply personal. Her mother, speaking through tears, described Michaela as a vibrant young woman who had dreams of providing a better life for her 2 sons. Friends recalled her infectious laughter and determination to succeed as a hairstylist, a career she had worked so hard to build. In the days following her death, the Orlando community came together. Vigils were held at the Jernigan Gardens apartments, where neighbors lit candles and shared their memories of Michaela. Signs reading, "Stop the Violence," were placed around the area, a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of unchecked anger and violence. But the impact didn't stop there. Michaela's story sparked conversations in other neighborhoods across the city, highlighting the ongoing struggles with crime and safety in similar areas in Orlando. Her family, though engulfed in grief, made a powerful plea. Let Michaela's story be a wake-up call. This cannot happen to another family.
She was making strides to better herself as a whole, better herself personally, better herself as a mother, and better herself as a stylist.
22-year-old Michaela Patterson, who was known to many as Ruby, was a mother of 2 and worked at this Orlando hair salon for the past 8 months.
This is Ruby's suite.
The same suite where people have been dropping off flowers to show their respects. Her co-workers say she wanted to be a celebrity hairstylist and strengthen her faith.
We spoke on her spiritual journey. She said she wanted to have a better relationship with God.
She gonna be missed because she just had that great bubbly personality. Like, you always knew when she was here.
But now flowers and candles mark the spot where police say she was shot Friday after a large fight at the Jernigan Gardens apartments along Mercy Drive in Orlando.
This is an unfortunate incident. It's sad that it couldn't have been de-escalated.
Orlando City Commissioner Regina Hill, who covers this district, said the city has been working to bring about positive change in that area.
More policing, which we're doing, community engagement, and focus on services for those youth and young adults in that community, along with their parents.
Yeah, back here live. So many questions about this case. You know, who was in that fight and what led up to it? We're going to keep asking. Orlando police told me late today that this case is a very active case, and there are no...
Yeah, it's kind of weird because throughout all this, they still haven't said what was the motive behind it. They still haven't said why they were fighting, right? Why the initial argument started in the first place. What happened?
Nowhere near complete with this case.
She is since being laid to rest. What can be done to prevent tragedies like this in the future? Could better intervention programs make a difference? Someone said we should avoid crowded outdoor gatherings and move away from any scene where a fight is going on. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below as we honor Michaela's memory and hope for a safer future. The fight for justice begins. Delray Shundell Duncan Jr. and Gary Lee Williams III face serious charges.
Look at this.
The courtroom becomes the battleground. Michaela's family sits in the front row, their grief palpable. They watch, heartbroken, as the evidence unfolds. Every detail, every witness testimony is a fresh wound. For Michaela's two young sons, the loss of their mother leaves an unfillable void. Their childhoods are forever altered. Who will speak for them? Will justice truly be served? Duncan and Williams have both entered a plea of not guilty. A pre-trial hearing for both individuals WSS held in Orange County on May 21, 2024, according to court records. The investigation is still ongoing, and the case is still being decided in court for the suspects already in custody. We will do our best to keep you updated as we get any updates on the case. Michaela Patterson's story is one of dreams unfulfilled and a family forever torn by tragedy. She was a mother with a vision for a brighter future, a hairstylist on the rise, and a woman full of promise. But in the blink of an eye, her life was violently cut short. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family of Michaela Patterson during this incredibly difficult time. And as you navigate through this unimaginable loss, may you find comfort in the cherished memories she leaves behind and the legacy of love she created.
Pretty much, man. It's very tragic, and it's messed up because she was 22 years old, right? And she looked like she was on her journey. She was on her purpose. She was doing all the right things she needed to do to be successful in life. Even when you look at her, she don't just look 22. She looked like she carried herself in a very grown manner. And all for her to be taken out of here, which is kind of messed, not even kind of messed up. It's messed up, especially with it happening due to 3 males, right? 3 kids at that. That's what it, or maybe they are older, but this girl was 22 years old. Crazy, man. Y'all jump in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this. What y'all think actually happened. Like I said, to this day, we don't know what happened. We don't know why the fight started. And it seems like the guys aren't talking because they're going for trial and nobody said what actually happened. So I don't know, man. Y'all jump in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. I'm out.